Hard Random continue to get advantages. Nearly Alistar, Silver Band for Hard Random, Rise and Nivu with 1 to go for INTZ, and Carvin and Slayer Face.
I mean, I have to Rise ban again. I mean, you're losing every game. You don't even know if the Rise is going to be a problem or not. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, and Hard Random's probably going to first pick the Graves, and they already dealt how to deal with this Echo. But it was a mid Echo, so maybe we could see the top Echo from INTZ, and yeah, there goes the...
Well, Trundle Band and Graves picked up for Hard Random, so Echo's left open again.
I saw Stehos on the screen there, talking to his jungler, kind of saying like, don't worry mate, like you pick the Graves, I don't need Echo, we'll win anyway.
Yeah.
And they take the Graves away.
And there's the response, Echo and Lucian, they will take it away there.
Yes, and that's a very nice adaptation from INTZ. I really like this Lucian takeaway pick.
I like the Echo as well, and they fixed their mistake from before where they let the Maokai go through, because if this Maokai goes into the top lane, Echo absolutely wins that lane.
Well, we'll have to see how that stacks up here, because Smurf kind of has to default to the Maokai. Hasn't got it yet, hasn't needed it actually it seems, but I think definitely a good adjustment after game 1, where they maybe went a little too deep on picking that one away.
Our friend Bardo's still alive.
Oh, he is.
Yes,
that was the thing, they had to leave something open here.
And the question will be, do they take it now because they're afraid of INTZ denying it, or do they leave it? Because the fact of the matter is Liquid has had fantastic performances on pretty much every support he's played, so it doesn't even matter if INTZ denies the Bard here, because Liquid's going to play one of his other fantastic champs.
Yeah, and plus they'll probably take the, the Trundle span, so yeah.
Because the Maokai actually the picks there for Hard Random, so they'll take those. And again, they will save Liquid's pick. We have seen some pretty interesting counter picks. Support counter picks actually been pretty viable in this tournament. And Kira's actually saved his pick quite late as well. So we'll see if INTZ actually show the mid lane or actually give Tok as a counter pick finally.
Yeah, I was actually going to say the Braum.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we actually haven't seen any Braum in the semis so far.
We've barely seen it in the tournament, really. I saw it on the first day, and it had like a 20% win rate or something like that. But I still think Braum is an extremely strong champion. This duo is extremely potent. I think this is absolutely the right direction for INTZ.
Well, I wonder what's happening here, because we talked about Revolta maybe not wanting to go near Kindred again.
Surely
this is way too deep, I think, to get away from Kindred.
I mean...
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Kindred Braum are going to be the lock-ins.
Okay, so the concession here is that double AD with Braum is very good combo. They'll proc that stun so quickly with the two of them. We have been criticizing the Kindred. Look, I think if his lanes perform a bit better, he can make the Kindred work, because like we said, it's not like he's playing bad necessarily, it's just that the Kindred doesn't have enough influence. With the Braum, I think, and with the Lucian and the Echo, I mean, his lanes right now are facilitating his success.
Well, so the last picks are here for Hard Random. They do need to round out this draft. Looks like Kira needs a champion and Liquid needs a champion.
Curious to see whether they take the Liss or the Azir here.
Well, they have to take Bard.
Yeah,
There it is, locked in.
That's a given.
Lissandra,
and the Liss for the CC. Liss Graves, such a strong comp.
Well, I like it. They played it in game 1 to great success. Pretty much no changes, with maybe the Echo being the issue.
I was expecting the Twisted Fate pick from the INTZ Gaming, and I really like this Lissandra actually.
Don't like the Quinn.
Yeah, I really don't like the Quinn.
Big fan of the TF.
Yep.
I think TF Echo is a fantastic duo, because no one really can escape Echo, and TF can decide when to come in and kill at the end. I think GP also would be a good fit here. Bit AD heavy, but scales well. A lot of damage. The global ult will help to stop some of those side lane pushes. If there's a swap here, GP will be extremely strong.
Yeah, either GP or TF is fine. It just reinforces the Echo's winning matchup.
And on top of that, again, another champ that has fantastic synergy with Braum. Sorry, they're gonna proc this Braum stun very quickly, then immediately hit him with a gold card afterwards. I could see this comp doing very well.
Well, there we are. That's the Twisted Fate locked in. Final thoughts on the draft, gentlemen.
Strong global comp. I like that. They have, I saw TF taking Cleanse, so they won't have double TP, but TF will make up for that. Hopefully, I mean, TF Kindred, great duo again. Hopefully, Revolta can get something done this game. I'm looking big time at their bot lane. Mikau, like we said, he does a lot of damage. I think they really need them to step up.
But on the other side, Hard Random, they need to look for the mid game. They need to get the Lissandra and Bard combo going.
Well, see if they can get it done here. We are going to go back to the caster desk at Seafa and Rusty for what could be our final game.
Could be our final game indeed. Pastry time. Excited to see this one. Hard Random have been absolutely dominating once again, getting their hands on a lot of comfort picks. The Lissandra, the Bard coming out, but INTZ finally appear to be adjusting their strategy.
Yeah, it took them a couple of games, but the answer is well and truly there this time around from the Brazilian team. that is a draft to be afraid of if you were looking at it from hard random, because they haven't just played hard random's game, and that's like ban 2 of the strong champions, adapt with the 3rd, then pick the 4th one that might be an issue. We don't know. This time around, they get themselves the Echo. They get themselves a very well-rounded team comp. I think Kindred has a lot more merit as well.
Agreed, and especially when paired with the Braum, they talked about it on the desk, and we can't point it out enough. When there's a Braum, when you have that concussive blows, you have so much lockdown on a team that is so auto-attack focused. Even the Echo jumping on top of you, the TF, the Kindred, every single person on the team is well equipped to proc that stun, to make the most of that Braum passive, and it can be a pretty big game changer. Absolutely.
So we're looking towards these stuns and these picks to see how prevalent they can be. The Twisted Fate being able to be everywhere as well, matching lane swaps, things like that. It's actually just really well-rounded. I can't praise it enough.
But honestly, on the other side, I do feel like Hard Random have the comfort picks, and they have the tools to come out on top. We haven't really seen how the Callista is going to play out in that bottom lane. We've only seen the Lucian in the set so far, but I feel like Hard Random, if they continue to out-execute, as they have been in the last 2 games, they could, in theory, just come out on top.
Absolutely. I believe the first game's the best example of this. Draft wasn't everything. It just came down to how they played the map, and Hard Random have been doing that a little bit better and a little bit more classy than that of ITZ.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Have to see if INTZ can close out this one with class to keep themselves in the series, or if Hard Random will take it in a dominating 3-0. Blue versus red. Lysandra and Graves once again in the hands of Hard Random, but Revolta staying true to the Kindred. TF in the mid lane, a new pick, potentially the game changer here.
Yeah, and the only big mix-up this time around for Hard Random in particular is the Callista. It was the first time this set that we haven't seen him playing Lucian. Actually denied away from him, and that was another genius move from Macau and from the drafting team behind this Brazilian lineup.
And additionally, getting that Lucian Braum lane, such a powerhouse in the 2v2. Ability to proc those concussive blow stacks so quickly. On the other side, though, Licrit. Bard, we've talked about being kind of a bully in lane, and additionally just in the hands of Licrit. We've seen him be such a huge playmaker.
I've been saying it all tournaments. You give him Bard, you probably lose.
I mean, it's a giant risk, right? But at this point, INTZ, knowing that they have to give up something, knows that they have to take something. And if you're going to take risks, if there's ever a time to take risks.
Oh, this is the counter gank. This is a risk.
This is a risk. INTZ not scared to take it. Miracle seeing, but it may be too late.
That's dodge.
Winter Bite going to miss. Not finding the auto attack either. Jockster not wanting to commit there.
Lost the trade.
That is not where you want to be. If Braum hits that Winter's Bite, that trade goes so heavily in their favor, but that quick sidestep was everything there in that instance.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is step 1 of many where you'll see Licrit just flaunt his mechanics on Brad Pitt.
I like that. He's Bardo here, friend.
Bardo Pitt, sorry.
Bardo Pitt. Well, Steos once again on this Graves as well, clearing out the jungle quite quickly. Matching pace with Revolta so far, but it will be standard lanes. A lot of potential opportunities for playmaking in the jungle. Revolta struggling a little bit.
He's probably going to level 2 gank mid, I would imagine, unless he gets an RNG scuttle. This is over-aggression from Kira.
Kira not used to this TF. The reliable lockdown means he could be caught out. Is going to have to burn the claw, but no real disadvantage.
But that was genius from Kira to actually have claw at level 2. Most Lysandras, especially with how much he was winning lane, might be feeling lucky, might be feeling a little bit aggressive, and actually go for that W for lockdown so that you can out-trade. Also helps with the Thunderlord's procs, but no. The claw level 2.
Patience on picking an ability, most likely. Waiting until he was forced to do so. So good individual performance overall.
40 gold, though.
Oh, Licrit stealing away the little camps. Here comes Steos as well. Jockster from behind. Another early game fight potentially on our hands as the Graves starts to get locked up. Lucian does good damage, but a great stun from the Bard could turn this one on its head in an instant. Double buff on Revolta. Not going to help him out too much. So he starts to get pressed in. Licrit saving that fight.
Steos needs to be a little bit careful with how far he is pushing in. There's a Twisted Fate nearby.
One stack. Not going to get the stacks, though. Are going to drop off just in time. 4 members of Hard Random already looking for the early skirmish. Both these teams are hungry for blood.
Yeah, and actually Kira once again.
Oh, Kira, no. I don't think this is what you want. Has to flash away in addition to the claw. Barely making it to safety, but Revolta's not done just yet. Moving into the jungle, ready for more. Looking to secure that stack as Yang, finally, with the Echo in his hands, is starting to dominate this top lane.
And we're seeing winning lanes now. Licrit and Miracle are still putting in their own work. That just comes down to mechanical execution.
Oh, missing once again the Winter's Bite. That's massive, but there are 2 stacks looking for the 3rd. One more will stun up Miracle. Bard, not a whole lot of defensive options at this stage.
Oh
we'll find the stun.
God, honestly.
Licrit. Can he even miss?
How does he do it? He is like the one member of this entire team that has been firing non-stop on Bard. And like, I can't praise him enough. To stop giving him Bard was the rule of thumb, even coming into this best of series. But the forced bans in other directions, such as the Anivia and Trundle, have placed them in this predicament. However, mid lane is still doing well from the side of INTZ. And Yang has still got that Echo in the top lane. And he's going to naturally win that.
Yep, a decent amount of power. Interestingly enough, Maokai opting for the Dark Seal, getting a little bit of extra value out of those potions. But TP coming in, maybe looking to dive here. Revolta on the backside. This is the aggression we were waiting for. Miracle locked up and burned down instantly. Liquid doing pretty good, but the magical journey taking him to safety in the 1-for-1 trade. No stun quite yet. Could look to take out both Macau and Revolta. Is going to get it. What a hitbox.
Is that a mana?
What a player.
This is a bit awkward. They let him go. Not sure why they let him go.
This man
he's killing
is an
himself.
absolute legend, by the way. Turns it into a 1-for-1. Gets the self-sacrifice on the turret.
They let him go. You see the question mark ping on the turret? Like, why did he do that? Like, we let him live. He earned it. And he's thrown it all away.
Quicker recall, my friend. Quicker recall.
For what it's worth, he's already alive walking back to lane, or I should say magical journeying back to lane. Like, it's close to quicker recall. I'm not going to dispute that fact. It's just that he didn't know where they were, so he thought they were still chasing him.
I feel like watching Liquid's part is always a magical journey, to be fair. Of course, moving in, there's so much pressure on the mid lane. I'm really liking the way INTZ are playing this game, despite a little bit of a fumble on the bottom side of the map to trade kills there. They're playing so aggressive and laying down so much pressure in each of these lanes.
Yeah, Revolta's been moving around the map a lot more effectively, getting so many ganks off as well. Steos is more in the farm direction, which, to be fair, is warranted, being that Graves, something that Hard Random are used to dealing with. And all things considered, Hard Random is still actually ahead because they have prospered through weathering the storm that is the early aggression the Brazilian team have actually put down.
Yeah, Smurf, of course, with a significant farm lead, 46-31.
Which is very weird.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the Echo TP just cost much more than he wanted it to at this stage of the game. Additionally, Steos, as we said, farm-heavy jungler, has proven that he can gank, but if given the opportunity, he does love to just farm this one out.
And they're empowering the Maokai by giving him the Rift Herald stack, or the buff. So he's going to come back to lane. He'll have a bit more control of waves. Makes it harder for Yang to push in on this Echo. Damage control is there from Hard Random, and this early aggressive start is not always doing its job. There's actually, no, this
here
is
comes
great.
the Twisted Fate. Great pressure over here, trying to make it through the wall, but it will get stunned up, locked down, makes his way through the rest of the journey, but will be burned. Liquid can't hit every Q, luckily for INTZ, and they will walk away with that kill.
Yeah, going for the pink ward, also baited in a little bit by the support of INTZ. Jockster putting in work, but the Twisted Fate as well. Tokka's showing up right on time. Everything actually looking so much better here for Team Brazil.
It's the team we praise for their ability to adapt in best of fives, and while we may not have seen it in Game 2, we're finally seeing it here. They're figuring out what they want to do, and they are executing on it. But Hard Random still have the tools that they need to win the game. Lysandra, Graves, both doing quite well in their individual
Well,
wins.
that's the thing, right? Like, they're still ahead in gold, and the only thing that they're successfully getting out of this is putting Miracle behind. And if their goal is to put Miracle behind because then they're effectively down a carry, it's just more important for Kira and Smurf to step up massive and do their part.
You can see the difference here. Steos, level 6, Revolta only level 5. This isn't where you want to be, buddy, but luckily the members of INTZ are there to back him up, trying to make it to safety, getting burned down. 4 stacks on concussive blows, Z-Drive Resonance. Yang snagging the kill on that one. Far too greedy from Steos.
And I'm sure Steos is just as confused as everybody as to why 5 people are sitting near the Raptors. But, you know, this is a thing, and they've done that thing effectively. And they've actually got themselves into a very convincing position, you would imagine, near the Dragon. Overall. You got to get the mark first, right? Liquid's on it.
Stunning Revolta into the wall. Still doesn't have
Not your
Lamb's
mark to
Respite.
have.
Bard's damage, though. Pretty absurd, actually, at this stage of the game, taking out so much health with just a couple auto attacks.
They don't actually get the Dragon at all because he overcommits to get that mark. Greedy play.
Interesting decision-making here. Of course, good on INTZ to know that Steos would kind of get over-aggressive there, knowing that he's been liking to invade so much and punishing that. A risky play, but one that paid off. And now, you know, something that could have been much more stopped at least a little bit.
Level 5 to level 6 was why he was aggressive as well. It was sort of predictable. I'd say positioning on the map, perhaps not as much, but for some reason, Braum and Lucian were aware of it, so I would imagine they had the plan there.
And the gold finally evened out now, but we look at the farm differences here. Volta has that kill, but he's still 13 CS behind in the jungle. That is a massive amount of gold. They may be evened out for the most part, but Graves is just continuing to power farm. Will look to get his warrior enchantment here as he finally gets the opportunity to recall.
I'm a little bit sad we didn't just start calling him Stejos.
Stejos.
Super Australian, I guess. Stejo.
Did we ever get official confirmation on how to pronounce his name, or did we just...
No, we made it up.
We picked it and stuck with
We
it.
absolutely stuck with the first one that someone said. I think it became Stejos at one point, and I'm still not sure. But I'm going with Stejos.
Stejos. Got it. I mean, whatever he wants to be called at this point, we should probably call him.
There's so many different regions at this event that the way you say certain names are entirely different, right? Like,
yep.
Stomaged is actually Stomaged.
I barely speak American English, right? Like you've got an Australian accent, you pronounce things slightly differently, and then there's 8 different regions, 7 if we count Latin America North and Latin America South is generally the same regions here for different languages, different pronunciations. I think we're guaranteed to butcher at least a couple names.
Absolutely right. Tolkas is my favorite one. It's the most non-Australian but pronounced Australian name in existence.
I love it. Miracle, though, taking a lot of damage here on the bottom side. Talkers, our Australian-Brazilian mid laner, now pushing in the mid lane. Kira will, I guess, most likely has picked up that blue buff now, so we'll feel a little bit more comfortable under this tower, pushing out. However, Liquid and Miracle forced to back off, knowing they cannot stay to protect this tower.
Yeah, and that's because Tokas is actually controlling the middle lane. Revolta's shown his hand nearby also. And this is the threat, the 4v2 dive, time and again. They're not even level 6 on Liquid, so the Bard's not able to make plays for them. And slowly but surely, the control of the map is being enveloped further by INTZ.
Now it's after the Dragon setting their sights on that bottom lane tower. Graves potentially here to respond, but he may not be fast enough. Back ping's coming out. Not wanting to overcommit, giving a lot of respect.
Can ult again. Like, that's the thing they have to constantly consider. That turret's not actually that safe to be under because they can take the turret through a dive. If Yang can teleport in, that's going to be 5 down there. And that's what they want.
Macau level 8 as well.
Yeah, they've
BF
got a good
sword.
teleport ward.
Maybe looking to get aggressive here on the bottom side of the map. Talkers
Absolutely.
ready to respond. Here comes the Destiny. Here comes the Twisted Fate, and the Magical Journey not going to work out quite so well. Teleport on the backside. Lysandra, great turnaround here on the side of Hard Random. A perfect response as Macau will get burned down. The double kill for Callista. Yang next on the list. INTZ running scared. Finally, Bard hits level 6. Tempered Fate, and the Fate is death as they push in here to lock up Revolta. Lamb's Respite doesn't even get popped. Jockster next, getting destroyed. The double for Lysandra, the double. Overall, just crushing it out as an ace comes through for Hard Random.
The ace in INTZ, that was just phenomenal. I have no words to really describe it. That was a red card from Talkers is actually what starts it all off. And that was the exact moment that everything went downhill. Liquid hits the stun onto 2 carries after he takes the magical journey to get the positional advantage. And the teleports, this is once again something that Hard Random will always do. 2 people, 2 teleports. They make their way in perfectly timed to get the counter engage. Yang was a little bit slow to the punch, and it was his team going in.
Absolutely insane team fighting performance coming in from Hard Random. Immense confidence to execute there, to know that they could turn that fight. Great individual plays from Liquid. TP coming in for Kira. Yang just a little bit late to the party overall, and at the end of the day, 1 or 2 small executional errors from INTZ cost them 5 members, and now a 2K gold lead as we push to the 13-minute mark.
And still this Callista, who is just leaps and bounds behind, like really struggling.
Oh, Liquid trying to get something. Bard blocking that out. Steos, though, hungry for blood, as always. Smurf taking a decent amount of damage. Map has returned to sort of a balanced state despite the gold lead.
Towers are about to fall, though, I would imagine, on the bottom side, so the gold differences will start to even out very shortly. As still, Macau, he's the big factor for this Brazilian side. 32% of his team's damage. Ridiculous numbers. He needs to back it up.
Yep. Now grabbing that tower as well, starting to even it out, as you said, Revolta.
Oh, no.
Looking for the stun, is going to get it. Dance of Arrows over the wall. That's the quick kill pickup. Finally, a jungler in form. Kira not going to take the claw, looking to maybe get in here. Lamb's Respite going down. Bard over the wall is going to find the stun. They have to make it to safety. Beautiful Tempered Fate. Not going to get too much, though. Talker's coming in as well. Finally, no red card this time, he says. Gold card to grab the kill. INTZ with the beautiful collapse.
The Tempered Fate was perfect, but Lissandra wasted the ultimate at the same time instead of walking to safety. So a miscommunication from Hard Random this time around cost them 2 members on their team. Steos can't get over the wall with his ult. And Kira opts not to. Backfires.
Interesting, and of course, as the Rift Herald drops, this has been a completely blow-for-blow game so far. 6-5 the kill score. 2K now in the favor of INTZ as they swing it back in their favor once again. I mean, this is just... Everyone is fighting. Everyone is fighting all the time, and I feel like one minor misposition from either team can swing the gold in an instant.
Well, that's the trick. Twisted Fate on a team. Teleports on the other team as well. Everyone's moving around the map at a rapidly increasing rate, especially if they start getting distortion upgrades, which is Kira's sole purpose right now. Lucidity, distortion would be in the resolve tree as well to reduce cooldowns further. It's going to be everywhere.
We look at these 2 team comps, it makes sense. Essentially, global presence for the TF in the mid lane, the teleport for Yang, TPs for Kira and Smurf, Bard with the Tempered Fate, the magical journey, so much map mobility here on both sides. Opportunities to engage and force fights at each and every opportunity. Now it looks like they've set their sights on the top lane as 3 members start to pressure in here.
And it's amazing how important the Bard has been as well. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of Bard being played, but the one time we do, these stuns have been essential.
Yeah, on an international level, not quite as popular as the Trundle, the Alistair, the Braum, but here in IWCI, here in the hands of Liquid, absolutely crushing pick. Playmaking left and right, getting maximum value out of each and every aspect of the kit, and
yeah, he's been unreal.
I think we're both Bard players, so
yes,
it's hard not to get excited about this. He's
I'm an avid believer in Bard being the best champion in League of Legends. Solely because it's fun.
You can't tilt when you play Bard. Doesn't speak.
Well, no, because you're playing a minigame. You start losing the map, you start chasing chimes.
Start chasing chimes, you listen to your horn noises.
Yeah, it's glorious. You got meeps.
Yeah. Players on your team are toxic. You just go for the hard Bard roleplay and type "wah" in the chat anytime something goes wrong.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. It's a sad reality, isn't it?
Very true. Not quite the reality for INTZ as they managed to bring the team together in this game, however. They may be frustrated, but they're not out yet.
Teleport's coming in top lane from Kira.
We're watching the back half of Hard Random, but you have to know that they're engaging here. Ward goes golden mode, but the remaining members of INTZ not going to get caught out by that. Talker's pushing up the mid lane. Echo split pushing on the bottom. A lot committed here from Hard Random on the top side.
That was an aggressive advance, though, from Hard Random. They were looking for it. Smurf still has his TP, so they didn't go all in. They didn't commit. The turret is inevitable to fall as well, like minions that start to push this one down top side.
Echo continuing pressure at the bottom. Maokai forced to back, so a little bit more tower damage going down there as well. And we have to remember that despite the Bard ult not hitting anyone, it is because Macau did burn his flash. So still small advantages accrued here. For both sides, really, tower damage essentially traded for that flash cooldown.
Malushin's been a big deal.
Yeah, clearly a power pick for this tournament overall. Is it just the culling, in addition to all that dueling potential, so powerful. Moving in.
Wow.
Steos getting aggressive. We're once again looking for the fight. There's the Bard knockup as they push in. Yang comes in, looking to back them up. Liquid stun. Can he get burned down? No, he's going to make it through the portal. Lamb's Respite on the back half. Smurf is instantly among the team. The Maokai could find some kills here as the Bard actually takes down the Twisted Fate with the help of Callista. Snap back from Yang.
Lissandra's coming.
Has to make it to safety. Here comes Kira. Here comes the claw, the flash, the snare. Ults himself, though, not going to find the kill there. Potentially a misclick as he backs out, but Miracle will grab another one as Hard Random turn the fight in their favor.
Yeah, Kira probably could have afforded to use his ultimate on someone else. It doesn't mean that Kira is done with his aggression, however. He will be pushing them away, and the turrets should actually start to fall down here. And Hard Random, they get some big advantages back. All it takes is these big team fights with teleports. And
now,
it feels like nothing has changed.
Nothing at all. One tower drops in the favor of INTZ, a fight in the favor of Hard Random, and a tower to follow, and the gold is almost identical. at this stage of the game. Both teams playing at their best, I feel, in this game 3.
Yeah, we're watching the standard, I guess, and just the ideal scenario for INTZ. The slow push, work down turrets, whittle down your opponent, hit that late game team fight, and just have Yang to split push, Tokkers to split push, and find your point of comfort, which is absolutely where they are right now. And then we're just seeing hard random, double teleport, straight team fight, 5-man brute force their way back to the even gold deficit. And now everything starts from essentially square one, just with completed items.
Callista, of course, picking up those 2 major items for herself, Runehands and Blade of the Rune King.
He is in trouble.
Talkers potentially looking like this. Tempered Fate does have the flash. Could get stunned, though, before he can flash. Is still going to get caught out by the Bard. Great positioning there. Magical Journey over the wall. Talkers, no hope quite yet. Snare goes down. Talkers will drop. Bard picks up another kill. 3-1 and 6 for Liquid.
Honestly, better off not using his flash there, Talkers. He might want that in a later fight. But decides that he can't get stunned by the Bard. That's not how that works, however.
Once it hits you,
you are
if it
done.
then continues to hit a wall, you are donezo.
Yeah. Or just goes 180 degrees and does like a 360 somehow and still hits you on the wall.
Yeah,
parallel to you.
It's one of those abilities that people always are like, spaghetti code. It's not spaghetti code. It's just a very oddly designed ability. And if you don't know how to play against it, you are going to get hit by it over and over again.
Because it's got a latch range after the actual, like the first part of the Q connects.
Yeah.
It's very unique in its design. But once again, they find that pick onto Tokkers out of position.
Good performance overall. Yeah, they need to find these picks. They're still behind in the gold department. Lucian still absolutely crushing in terms of CS, 173 to 129 on the bottom side of the map. Despite that, still hasn't finished his second item. As I say, Gaster's Curse does grab the rapid fire cannon.
What's up again?
Oh, Bard trying to block it. That one not quite going to be blocked by Unbreakable. Jockster making it to safety. Revolta more than happy to back him up.
And this is the rinse and repeat style that Hard Random won their first games of the group stage with. Use that Bard ult, make a pick, capitalize off that pick with an objective, and snowball the crap out of a game. Basically what they're repeating.
Working well. The Claw coming out, trying to find the disengage. Here comes the TF as well. Destiny being used, coming in the bush. Not 100% committing into the thick of it yet. There goes Kira right into the middle of the team looking to re-engage, but he doesn't hit too many. Liquor getting thrown in. Beautiful engagement. Lamb's respite. A brief opportunity, but Talkers is over the wall. He's not doing anything, but Hard Random may have overstayed their welcome. The Echo looking so strong at this stage of the game. Kira goes back in once more, but at the end of the day, that's going to be the 3-for-1 in favor of Hard Random.
And that was the perfect engage from Kira because it denied the first gold card out of Tokkers. Gets the self-cast ultimate off onto multiple members. Fortunately for INTZ, they still execute on the fight decently well, even with a separated Twisted Fate from the main pack. They get some trades back, but it's not enough. Because really, Hard Random, they're in their domain.
Once again, a game of inches. INTZ, maybe 1 or 2 more mistakes in that team fight, and the 2 mistakes are what make all the difference in that 3-for-1 exchange. Crushing here as they continuously manage to find advantages, and then they get taken away from them every time Hard Random out-execute in these fights.
They know Kira's low. I think they're going to look towards Baron. And that's just an inkling. I don't think it's something they should commit towards. And that's why it's very good of Liquid to be around, knowing they're missing members. It is only 22 minutes in the game, but I do think that was a serious consideration from the Brazilian team there.
Have the Braum, the Kindred, and a very strong Lucian.
Exactly.
Could opt to go for it here. It would be an aggressive move, but when you're down 2 games, sometimes aggressive moves are what it takes. Everything, though, appears to just be evening out. Sated Devour finally coming through for Revolta will help immensely in the next fights.
Yeah, and it's just a game of simple math, though. Like, you're 0-2 down. You can't always afford to take the 60% maybes. Sometimes you have to take the 50% I don't knows to just actually get yourself a victory, because that's genuinely what it takes. If you're already 2 games down, they're doing better than you are, plain and simple.
Yep, got to take risks to come back in League of Legends. It's hard to make up when you're behind in gold. Luckily, they're even now. Surprise Baron is going to get pinged out, and it looks like... Does the ward spot it? We can't quite tell. Here comes the TP in. Revolta makes it over the wall.
Spots it.
Baron going golden mode there for a brief moment as Kira looks to find some blood, but they're just going to continue the Baron from here. They're more than happy to take that half of a health bar in their favor and try to start this one up. Using the Magical Journey, it's going to disappear shortly. No benefit coming in for INTZ.
Risky.
Moving in, the stun could go down. 3,000 health on that Baron. They have the Callista. There are so many spears. Can they get it? They're looking for the disengage. They're going in. Gold card not going to find it. Baron could drop. Revolta, can he steal
Revolta's
it?
in.
He wants to get it. No, Kindred going to take it away. INTZ throw everything out in an instant. Talker's running for his life. Jockster and the rest of the team trying to get something back, but Macau drops. Hard Random take the Baron, and Maokai grabs the double.
And beating them at their own game, Hard Random. They meet them at the Baron pit. They finish the Baron that INTZ started, and they secure it with 3 kills. This will be at least an inhibitor, but with 20 seconds remaining on 2 members, I don't know how much further they'll be willing to push.
4K gold lead, Yang. Jockster desperately trying to hold on here, but Hard Random, as you said, guaranteed to grab this one. Are going to back off here. Patient play. They know they found the win. They don't need much else.
Penguin Synergy even sums it all up. On the back of Licorice, time and again, Hard Random have been pulled back from a deficit into a favorable position. I just cannot believe he is this good at Brad.
It's insane. The Bardo, the plays. How is your best scoreline on your team your Bard? 4-1-10. Absolutely stunning performance. Excellent ultimates, uses of the magical journey, and you have to feel for INTZ. Maybe they had the right idea towards the end of that fight. They weren't quite fast enough on the magical journey. Revolta locked up, could not find the smite to look for the steal. Couldn't outsmite the Callista
as well, yeah.
Hard road for INTZ, and Hard Random now with a 5K gold lead. Looking to take the remaining outer turrets, extend it even greater.
That's the beauty of League of Legends, Sifa. The littlest things make the biggest deals sometimes. Having a Callista on your team because a Lucian was denied from you gives you the Baron smite in a situation like that where it's been losing lane most of the game.
Definitely a solid option here. No Coling coming out, no hope to clear out these minions, but they will leave the tower up for a little bit as someone gets caught on the backside. Echo tries to snap back. He does hit 4 members, but he gets burned down as well. Tempered Fate not going to land. Not zoning Talkers out either. INTZ need to win this fight, or they will lose another inhibitor and potentially the game. Jockster drops. Revolta lambs respite, but he's only saving himself, healing the team. Now getting dropped. Magical Journey ensuring that the Lucian has no hope. The stun coming in from Licorice. This is domination. This is Hard Random, and they're ready to close out the game. Can they do it? 30 seconds on the death timers.
30 seconds. They've got a minion wave they're about to empower with the Baron buff that still remains. I think it's safe to say that this is going to be game over for INTZ. And from the looks of it, their journey into the playoffs stops here.
A magical journey, though, for Hard Random. For a team named on a factor of RNG, they have never looked more consistent. 10K gold lead, a 3-0 over Brazil's finest, and now finding themselves in the finals here at the International Wildcard Invitational.
A 3-0, the best possible way to do it for this team. Honestly, just a commanding performance from Hard Random. There's no other way to say it. We are one step closer to seeing Kira on the world stage again.
The man is hungry for the win. You can tell. IWCA, not quite enough for him. He wants to make it all the way to MSI.
Well, with his team at help, right?
Well on the road to get there, though. Kira and Hard Random absolutely dominating that set. And Supermassive, of course, playing up against Saigon tomorrow. The winner of that will have to face this nearly unstoppable Hard Random lineup. These guys, honestly, INTZ really stepped up this game. They really played much better than they did game 1 and 2, but it simply was not enough. Hard Random are kings of team fighting. Confident calls left and right from them. That Baron, most teams in this tournament never would have taken that risk, but they feared it. They knew they had the strength of Callista. They knew they could execute, and that confidence really shone through for them.
just think that Hard Random honestly just played their own game, and the meta that's developed at IWC was almost around Hard Random's strengths. They just continued to play to their strengths, and it was an easy 3-0. Absolutely
dominating performance, but you've heard what we have to say about it. Let's see what Pastry and the analyst desk has as we move out to close the day.
Thank you very much, Sifa and Rossi. Great cast on the day, but honestly, I'm not sure what we can really say about that one because that was just an awesome game. Once again, here with Carvin and Soul Strikes. What are we thinking, boys? Because that Bard's looking good.
Yeah, the Bardo play. Too good.
Pretty much sums it up. Licorice just, that's the whole highlight reel of a game.
Actually unbelievable. I mean, that guy he played so phenomenally well. I mean, we were losing it backstage. I mean, every time. We saw it early with a double stun on the tower, with the execute. We saw it late with like amazing Bard ults, amazing. Even at the very end as they were ending with a crazy double stun. The Tempered Fate, the Callista ult into Bard, just throws himself in, double stun ult. Like, honestly, Liquor It, so good. So
And
good.
Easily, I think the best looking support player of the tournament so far. There's a reason Bard gets banned away, but just awesome stuff. Have a look at the bracket though, because of course Hard Random do push themselves up to 3-0 and into that final versus, of course, the winner of our second semi-final. I'll have to see who picks that one up, because I don't know if any team wants to play Hard Random after that performance. What else do we like, gentlemen? Because that was just such a phenomenal game.
I mean, we mentioned it during the broadcast. I mean, during the actual series. Like, they just ran out of bans. They had too many things to ban. I mean, I will criticize them for continuing to ban Rise, but other than that, I mean, there's like 4 must bans against Hard Random, it seems.
Yeah, and it just seems like I like the Lucian takeaway. There was a good adaptation, but like what Carbon said, just the Rise band, we don't know if they could have won with the Rise Open, and yeah, maybe they should have just banned the Bardo.
Well, I think Carbon actually had an interesting philosophy about this, because, like, yeah, like it's a strong champion, you might want to take it away, but your take is that, you know what, if you've banned it twice and you've lost 2 games to other thing else, you should probably change it up, right?
Well, I mean, you're looking at this draft and you're like, okay, well, we've played 2 games now, right? So we have an idea of what their priority is, but at the same time, it's like, yes, we could lose to Rise, theoretically. He has played Rise, he is a good Rise, but you have lost to these champions. So they should absolutely be your priority to get rid of. And instead, they stick stubbornly with the Rise ban and get absolutely punished for it.
I feel like maybe they adapted a little late there in the series as well, just because there were things that they maybe should have addressed and they just didn't.
Well, I mean, like, they did adapt and they didn't. I thought that their picks were very good. Taking the Lucian and the Braum, I thought was great. We saw Mikhail had a 40 CS lead on the Callista, which was amazing. If it wasn't for Liquid's incredible play, I think that lane would have been punished significantly harder. So I thought the bot lane was a great pickup. The TF, again, was a great pickup. Again, we saw Revolta being out-farmed, but they collapsed on Stayhouse a few times because the TF was enabling the Kindred, and the bot lane was also performing much better. So we kind of saw the same performance out of Revolta, where he was still playing well, he's still playing at that 90%, but his whole team lifted as a result of the picks they had, and we saw a much better Kindred performance out of him. The top lane, again, they got the Echo, and the Echo played well. I think there was like one point in the bot lane where we thought Echo might go off, but the bans were just lacking. I mean, again, they give them the Graves. Granted, Graves didn't have a huge game that game, but they give them the Bard. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think Hard Random were just a significantly better team, and Ints just, I mean, they needed that 4th man, really.
Yeah, that's true. And just, like, Ints played really well early game, but the moment that TF fumbled the yellow card to red card, everything changed. They got instantly punished. They got punished to the maximum.
Well, they'll be waiting in the final, of course, but we do have a second semi-final playing tomorrow. Gentlemen, I want just some quick thoughts here. Nothing massive, we're going to address it more tomorrow, but what are your early thoughts here? Just moving into tomorrow's second semi-final. Supermassive Esports, of course, the Turkish side are going to be taking on the Southeast Asian Saigon Jokers.
So both of these teams has a sub. They both use the sub, but not at a successful rate. So I'm expecting Tholdren to come in from Supermassive and
Levita to play.
Levita to come over Ozone. And it'll be very interesting to see how these two teams battle it out.
I feel like they both have quite high highs. They've both taken pretty big scalps throughout this tournament. But I feel like Supermassive, if Supermassive play well, you know, I expect them to take it. But I do definitely think that if Supermassive don't play amazing, that SAJ has the potential absolutely to take tomorrow.
Well, there's definitely that to look at here, but I'm kind of curious, before we do pop off, Hard Random, they're now sitting in the finals, 3-0ing INTZ, who are arguably the favorites coming into the event. Is this team beatable?
I mean, they look scary.
Yeah.
They look very scary.
Well, to be fair, we have Dumbledoge on the Supermassive, so 2 Bard mains, 2 Bard gods battle against each other.
They've played before. I believe Liquid got the upper hand, but I'm curious to see like how their potential works out. That could, of course, be one of our finals, but hard to say yet. Hard Random, though, that's a stellar performance there. 3-0ing after such a good round robin. Our question certainly was, can you play in a best of 5? Maybe we'll never know, because the answer's certainly there for the sweep.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pity, right? Like, we all expected Ints to do very well in the best of 5. I thought that they would adapt. I expected pretty big things from Brazil this tournament, and yeah, look, unfortunate finish for them.
Well, yeah, just unfortunate they got knocked out, but Russia just they just played Hard Random, just played out of their mind.
I mean, I will say one thing about Brazil, and that is that what's interesting is that, in the last few years, they have very good performances in the World's wildcards, where they usually dominate their wildcard group with the LAN teams. And last year they performed quite well at Worlds as well. But it seems that when they get into the big group wildcards, they seem to struggle a little bit. And I'm not sure if that's because they don't often practice against, they're not prepared for as many regions as they usually have the smaller wildcard group. But it is becoming a trend of the last few years now.
Well, 8 teams enter and only one can leave for MSI. That's going to be up for the day. We are going to get our second finalist tomorrow. We'll see which of Supermassive or Cyclone Jokers will take on Hard Random in that final. But it's been a great day. Thank you so much for joining us. Please join us for the second semi-final tomorrow. But for now, we'll say goodbye.